Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Truth Podcast. My guest this week is Jennifer Silverston. Jennifer has a degree in marine biology from Boston University and worked for the National Park Service on the Endangered Species Project. While working, she sustained a severe spinal injury, which sidelined her for years. By combining Western medicine and Eastern practices, she was able to rebuild her body and her life. Jennifer has studied with some of today's greatest transformational and mind-body practice leaders, including Master Jingshen Han of Zhuhai. I messed that up. What is it, Jennifer?
That's Master Jingshen Han of Zhuhai, China.
Zhuhai. I actually got that right.
You did.
Dr. Roger Jahnke.
Yep.
Dr. Paul Lam. Dr. Maria Formolo. Dr. Renxin Yang, Donna Eden, Jack Canfield, and Marie Diamond. Jennifer taught Tai Chi and Qigong at Northern Michigan University for years before starting her own business in 2015 called Tai Chi with Jennifer. She's since taught public classes in communities all over the United States and even internationally. She co-led over 30 backwoods retreats between mountains and the stream, and has assisted in training other Tai Chi and Qigong instructors. That's awesome, actually. More recently, she's been dabbling in technology in order to reach even more people. Since October, she's taught over 150 online Tai Chi classes. Jennifer's vision to help others heal themselves is inspired by her own healing journey. Welcome to the show, Jennifer Silverston.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here, Jim.
And thank you for helping me with pronunciation.
Yes, no problem. I know there's a lot of Chinese influence into my story, really, and we all know that Mandarin is one of the most difficult languages in the world. So I think you did quite well, actually.
Oh, thank you. I gotta say, I'm gonna give a little story first. I've been talking to Jennifer for a little while now, and when I was growing up, there was a show called Kung Fu, and David Carradine starred in this show. Now, most people, their heroes are Batman, Superman. Mine was, I don't know what he called himself in the show. I'm going to be totally honest with you, but the Kung Fu guy. He was always very humble, very patient, very not me. And I thought he had something that nobody else had. He seemed to hold back a lot. He wouldn't fight unless he had to protect someone else or his life was in danger. He would give himself up for someone else. And it was just something that attracted me. And so when I heard Tai Chi, because that's what he practiced, and even David Carradine practiced Tai Chi. And so when you talked about that, I was like just hooked right at the beginning. So normally I usually ask, my first question is what influenced you to be an entrepreneur, but I'm going to switch that up this week. My first question to you is, what is Tai Chi, number one, and what does it do for you?
Okay, wonderful questions. And I just have to, honor your story a little bit there, because you were picking up on things in watching those videos that is more than just fighting, right? Like you're picking up on, oh, this man was humble, and he would only fight if he absolutely had to. And there are philosophies embedded into these Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Qigong practices that are more than just a martial art. There's a philosophy, there's like a world view that comes into play. And I think that is part of the magic, part of the allure that these practices have. And Tai Chi, you know, and probably your viewers know, is like a slow, fluid, moving art form that you see people in parks gathering together. They're like fluidly moving like seaweed, back and forth. It's very harmonious. Even just by watching it, people feel soothed and calmer. And in terms of what it does for me, it does all of it. It has helped me heal my body. It has helped me soothe my emotions. It's helped me calm my anxiety. And it helps me lead a sort of spiritual life, I would even say, like helping me know that I'm connected to the universe. And I would say it brings a lot of magic into my world, like synchronicities. When you're in flow with the universe, then there's all these little synchronicities that just link up everywhere you go. And so, getting a little bit back to my personal story with my spinal injury, I was 22 years old when I suffered this extreme spinal injury. And, it was so severe that doctors didn't really know if I would walk again, if I would ever become a normal person again. And I was 7 years down my journey with Western medicine, all the things that they had to offer me. I still wasn't normal. I was still in a ton of chronic pain. And there was this Kung Fu master that came to my small town in Michigan. And he was a Fulbright scholar with the university. And I went to one of his free public classes. And with a spinal injury, there's like, you can count on like one hand what you can do. It's like mostly what you can't do. And so I went to his class and he taught these very simple exercises that I was like, oh my God, I can do these. Number one. And number two, they made me feel a little bit better. And so with anything, in a long-term chronic pain, debilitating, handicap, if you find something that makes you feel a little bit better, I'm the type of person says, well, let's do that again. Let's explore that some more. So I enrolled in the university so that I could enroll in his classes, which were called traditional Chinese martial arts. And that was Master Jingshen Han, whose both of his parents were Kung Fu masters, his grandparents, his whole lineage that he can recount is all Kung Fu masters. And so I got the very amazing pleasure to study with this man in 2008. And then I went back to China last year and got to study with him again.
Wow.
And it totally transformed my life. Like I had 3 physical therapists at the time that I met him in 2008. So, I mean, I was doing all this physical therapy all the time, pain management, psychology, all the stuff. And within a matter of weeks of practicing with Master Han, each of those 3 physical therapists commented to me separately, are you doing something different? Because you're changing, like the physical therapy is working better all of a sudden. And I told them what I was doing and they said, well, keep doing it. It's working. And so I was hooked. I was just hooked from there because especially 7 years into a spinal injury recovery, that's kind of like, you might not get any better, like that might be it for you. And suddenly I was accelerating my healing process with these exercises that were so simple. So that's a little bit about my story and how I got involved in it and what is Tai Chi. So Qigong, Kung Fu, Tai Chi, they're all kind of related in that they're traditional Chinese martial arts. And so if you were to see the Chinese martial arts as an umbrella, you would see Qigong at the top, which is like enhancing your own vitality. It's not applied to fighting in any way. It's just healing yourself. And then you have like Kung Fu, Aikido, Taekwondo, hard style martial arts over on one side. And then you have Tai Chi on the other side, which is considered soft style martial arts. So the movements are done more slowly so that you can gain precision, so that you can gain the total awareness of the present moment while you're doing the exercises. And, it's hundreds, if not thousands of years old, but modern medicine is now realizing the power in Tai Chi. Harvard Medical School, Stanford University, all these big you know, the best in the world. You know, the American Medical Association, the British Medical Association, they're all starting to say, wow, Tai Chi is so good for balance in seniors, chronic pain, helping reduce anxiety and PTSD. I mean, that's really interesting, isn't it? That this
Mm-hmm.
one very old practice can heal so many ailments that are you know, crippling our modern medical system. I mean, falls are like the leading cause of death in seniors because of all the complications. And anxiety and PTSD is like skyrocketing in our society right now, along with back pain because we sit so much. So I think that these ancient practices really have quite a lot of value to bring to our modern lifestyles and help us soothe and heal ourselves in really profound ways.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's amazing to hear, number one, your story, but number two, how that Western medicine is even now acknowledging what the benefits of stuff that's been around for, like you said, hundreds of thousands of years. Tai Chi, Taekwondo, um, Qigong. I mean, it's all stuff. It's all a whole different way of looking at stuff for us in the Eastern medicine or Western medicine. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a whole new, and there's homeopathic stuff coming out now, and a whole new view, I think, in our society now that's kind of trying to catch up to Eastern
Mm.
medicine. Where at one time we felt like Eastern medicine may be a little bit of folly, now it turns out the joke's on us.
Yes. And, you know, I think that there is incredible value in that Eastern philosophy, that Eastern way. But honestly, for me, it was the combination of Western and Eastern medicine that propelled me so far forward. Because Western medicine is like a laser. You know, they get to like the exact vertebrae, you know, and the exact nerve that's running through that spine bone, and they give you right like a laser, you know. They don't want to address your shoulders or your feet or your legs, or, you know, the body's all connected. So that's where the Eastern medicine comes in, because Tai Chi and Qigong, these are considered a whole body tonic, where you're
Mm.
soothing and nourishing all the joints, all the organs, soothing and relaxing the mind, activating the relaxation response, so the body goes into a healing mode where it's healing itself, which it does automatically. We're just enhancing that. So when we can combine the Western and Eastern, I think that's like amazing.
Mm. It very much is. It very much is. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit. And I kind of have the idea of what made you want to share what you did because of your injury and things like that. Um, but the new online thing, where did that come from inside of you?
Mm, that is actually kind of a deep,
It
a
is.
deep thing, because I was teaching for the university for a long time. After Master Han left, I got certified as a teacher, and I began teaching at the university. And it was a great gig. I really enjoyed it. And my mom got very, very sick. And I came home in 2015, and I realized that she was so sick, she was probably going to die. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea you were so sick right now. And I went back up north to the university. I quit my job like immediately. I moved out and I came home so that I could be with her and help out. And that's when I started my own little business on the side. I would teach some Tai Chi classes, you know, a couple hours a week while taking care of mom. And I was really glad that I was here, because she did pass. And
Mm.
I got to spend all that time with her, and I got to practice Tai Chi, you know, with her a lot while I was here, sitting down mostly, breathing exercises, and it always made her feel a little bit better. And in the course of that, I made recordings for her on her iPad, just audio recordings that she would turn on and repeat the exercises along with my voice. And that kind of, I was kind of dabbling in video and audio recordings for a couple of years. And then after she died, I had to really go on sort of like a soul quest of like, well, what am I doing now? Because I had reorganized my whole life to just take care of mom. And those of you that are caregivers, I'm sure you can relate to that. And as I dug deeper into what do I do next, it just really came up that everybody's online. Like everything is going this online path. And so rather than try to like move back to Marquette or stay here in Southeast Michigan or move someplace, yeah, I really wanted to go to France, honestly, like, but each of that, it would require me to like establish a population of people interested in practicing and then stay there. And so it just seemed like it would be best for me to start doing things online. And it was actually really cool because then some of my former participants from Marquette joined my online class. And they said, oh, it's just the same as being with you in person. This is so great. And then I had people that were here in my community join my online class. So it was a really valuable to me because these people knew me and they knew my work, and they were all giving me this feedback like, oh, this is just like when we practice with you, it's the same. And so that
Wow.
really helped inspire me to keep going. And now it's just amazing because I can, I have clients in California, in Florida, and, like all over the place. And we can still come together and cultivate these practices together. It's so cool.
That is amazing. Also, I'll ask you this too? Do you you said you had the classes. What are the benefits of your class? What can someone that say someone wants to sign up in your class? What are the benefits that they get out of that class?
Sure. Well, I think that there are many benefits to Tai Chi, and that's one of the mysteries of it, is that whatever you need, it gives you a little dose of what you need. But I do have certain classes online that especially focus on balance. So we're really focusing on cultivating the leg strength and the balance. And that's for people that are older that have concerns about their balance and stamina. And so that's one section of classes. I also have a section of classes that I teach online called Quantum Calm. And that's really for soothing stress, anxiety, and cultivating focus. Because one of the things in the entrepreneurial world, in business, that's on the rise is the anxiety. And when we have that kind of scattered thinking, we become less good at making decisions. And as a business person, you need to be able to make good decisions and think clearly for long periods of time. Even people like Sam Ovens from Forbes 30 Under 30, made $30 million before he was 30 years old. He swears by meditation. He says it gives you superpowers. You can think so much more clearly and you can focus for longer periods of time from doing meditation. So that's sort of like the other thing. And then obviously my back pain journey, my back injury journey, I'm very good at helping people ease their back pain. So those are the three big things I would say that people get out of Tai Chi is balance, reduced pain, and calm, clear thinking.
And I think the calm, clear thinking is one thing that a lot of us need. I've noticed this, and I talked to other people on my show about this. I asked people, but you had brought up that you noticed it as well, that the rise in anxiety, depression, negative stuff that's coming up, lots of stress, lots of angst, I would say. And what you offer is a help to that. That's right, right. So that's where the meditation comes in, correct?
Definitely. Yes.
So
Mhm.
I don't want you to give away your secret sauce thing here, but I mean, tell us kind of what. Okay, so for people who don't know, which I think most people do, but benefit of the doubt, what's a typical meditation for you, or what if you're not giving too much away?
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic question, actually, because there is so much more to meditation than just sitting in stillness. I think that's like the hardest thing for people, especially us Westerners, it's so hard. And so that's the beauty of the Tai Chi and the Qigong, is that they're considered a moving meditation. So you actually get to do things like, throw fruit like a little monkey, oh, I'm throwing fruit like a little monkey, and, splashing, splashing water like you're a little child by the river. And so you're doing these movements with these images, right? The poetry of the names of Tai Chi is very, historically so beautiful. And you're like getting into this like, yes, I'm like gathering and storing energy. But what you're doing is you're focusing now. You're focusing on what you're doing. And so that is a form of meditation. Master
Mm,
Han would always talk about feeling the air pressure against your skin while you move. So he would say, this is
mm,
the true reality of the present moment, is that the air is actually touching your skin right now. And when we can get our minds to focus on that connection while we're moving, it's again a little micro meditation because we're focusing on now, the true reality of the present moment. In the future, it's full of worry. We can make up all these stories about what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, what if I can't do, on and on and on. Our minds are very powerful. We can talk ourselves right into an anxiety attack, worrying about the future. And the same with the past. We can chew over what happened and what didn't happen and who said what. I know, I do it myself. But like the future and the past are full of this like anxious, chewing, stirring, worrying over and over. And we're not actually fixing those problems. We're just upsetting ourselves. But when we can just, okay, I'm throwing throwing fruit like a monkey. I'm swimming
mm,
like a turtle. I'm moving
mm,
through space. I can feel the air against my skin. And without even realizing it, boom, you've come to present moment focus.
mm.
And that's the thing that people tell me over and over again is like, I feel so much calmer. Like I don't even know how. Because only a couple times probably in class will I actually have them stand in stillness. And that's usually at the end of a series of exercises. We'll do all of our stuff and then we'll close, like let the energy settle. And then I'll say, okay, now just close your eyes and drift for a moment. And the mind can finally relax. But because it's been focusing so hard for the past 10 minutes or whatever, it's just like, oh. And it doesn't have any thoughts for like 10 seconds.
That's amazing.
And that's like how I would recommend you start your meditation practice, is with
Mm,
movement, because then there's not so much of this fight in the mind. But then to get a little bit deeper into, a more traditional meditation practice, I think again, there's many different ways. There's visualization meditations where you can like visualize different colors of light coming into your body or around your body. You can concentrate on a mantra, like these beads that I wear. I go around one bead at a time, just same mantra over and over and over again. The mind's like, oh, remember when? Nope, same mantra. oh, but I have to, nope, same mantra, you know? And it's like this exercise for the mind of like, nope, come back, nope, come back. And you just pull the mind back like over and over and over, like a running horse, right?
Mm.
The mind just is like running. We have like it's like 50,000 thoughts a day, you know, and like most of them are negative. They say like up to 80% of them are negative. And
Wow.
so when we can like train the mind, I mean, you train your mind like you train your body to like come back to the present, come back to me, focus, you know, try to get some gratitudes in there, you know, some positive thoughts as well, because these are things that we can control. We can't control a lot in our lives, you know, things happen, but we can control ourselves. We have the power to choose. And you know, usually it's like you practice something over and over, just like those Chinese paintings. You know, they didn't do that good the first time. You know, they didn't paint it on silk right away. They paint on rice paper, so you can do it 10,000 times so you can get good at it. And it's the same thing with these kinds of mind body practices, is you just do them again and again and again, and you get deeper and deeper. I remember reading in this book by Thich Nhat Hanh, who's very much about mindfulness meditation, which is another variety, which I love. And he said, he was talking about this, you know, mindfulness verse about breathing. And in his, you know, little description, he said, many of us who have practiced for 40 or 50 years continue to practice in the same way because it's so vital. 40 or 50 years.
Mm.
That's some dedication. That's some depth. Imagine, you know, whatever you do, you're going to get better at. So so imagine practicing mindfulness for 40 or 50 years. That's some deep stuff.
It is. One thing I was going to ask you as well, Tai Chi, you talk about the Chi, which is your life energy, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I find it's just for me, and I'm not sure how many others do, but in nature and especially near water, I always feel more energy. Is there a reason behind that, or is it just me?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, I mean, the water energy, I mean, they say the Chinese people will like look out and be like, oh, that's chi, you know, like when they look out
Mm.
at the water, you know, because the nature is the ultimate truth. Nature is true. It doesn't lie. And, you know, when you see nature, whether it's a forest, you can feel the freshness of the air. That's chi, that's aliveness, that's fresh. You know, that in the Hindu yoga traditions they would call it prana. It's all the same stuff. And we, you know, we know this as humans sort of intuitively. You go by a body of water, we're like, ah, it's so peaceful, it's so beautiful. Or you see some mountains, or you see some flowers blooming in the springtime, you know, it just gives us this ah, freshness. So yeah, that's why people practice in parks a lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
to be in
that's
them.
interesting because I've always felt that way, and I mean I kind of understood it a little bit, but didn't understand the depth. I think that you just brought. It was very deep. Um, Now we've mentioned a little bit about your injury, but can you take me from point A to where you got hurt to where you are now? Do you know what I mean? The
Mhm.
transformation. How bad was it? How is it now? That type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so the injury was in 2001, and I was so badly injured that I could not walk. I could not take care of myself. Um, I I could not be awake in my own body without pain medication. I would wake up and, you know, somebody from my family would have put out a little glass of milk and my pain meds next to my bed. I would wake up, I would take the milk and the pain meds, and I would go back to sleep until they started working. Like it was extreme pain. You know how like we we have this like you know, they don't allow the narcotics anymore. Like, I was on all of those drugs, all of them, for years, many years. OxyContin, Lortab, Vicodin, all of it. I took all of it. And you know, I don't know how else to describe to you. I remember, you know, laying on the floor when it first happened, not really knowing the extent of how much my life had just changed. I thought, oh, I'm going to get better in a day or two, kind of thing, you know? And I couldn't do anything. I had to crawl to go to the bathroom. This was before I came back to my parents' house so they could take care of me. And I just laid there, and my plants died before. I couldn't get up to water them. I couldn't, you know, like, you can't even conceive of like your body just not working. Our bodies work, you know, they get up, they do their things. We have a million other concerns. We don't even think about it. But my body did not work. It wouldn't, like, I just couldn't. It was the weirdest thing. And it was just extreme pain. It was tons and tons of extreme pain. And they would say, you know, we just need to get your pain to a manageable level. And I was like, what is that? I don't
What's a
understand what that
manageable
means.
level?
Right. So that was, you know, the first 2 years, I would say, were just really extreme. I don't remember that much about those years, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
The mind just kind of blocks it out.
Yes, it
In fact,
does.
it's like amazing what the mind will just,
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna send that away, you know. And then in 2008 was when I met Master Han. And I couldn't really drive myself. I couldn't really work like a normal person. Yeah, I had to wear this brace all the time. It was super aggravating. I was still on medication, you know, every 6 hours kind of thing. And then I started improving. I started getting better. And yeah, I mean, I have my ups and downs. I have a real easy tendency to re-injure my back. You know, once you have a bad injury someplace, it's easy to re-injure it. So I definitely go through ups and downs. And honestly, before I went to China in 2018, I was having more and more and more problems. I was having like some numbness in my leg. I was having these weird sensations in my knees. And so I thought, oh, well, China's like got a million stairs. I better get some physical therapy for my knees before I go. And I went, and they said, honey, this isn't your knees. This is your back.
Mm.
And I was like, shit. Oh no.
That's discouraging.
It was very discouraging. That was the last thing I wanted to hear. And I went through several rounds of physical therapy, and they said, it's time to see a surgeon. We can't do any more for you. And I'm still in my early 40s, and the type of surgery that I would need is so extreme that it's not something you want to get ever, really, if you can avoid it. And so I went to China looking for answers. And sorry. Yeah. So I went to China looking for answers, answers to heal myself. And I started, you know, one little piece here. Oh, I could change my stance a little bit, and it relieves the pressure on my SI joint. Oh, okay, one little change here, one little change there. Master Han, he runs a clinic with 30 doctors working for him. And he and his second apprentice would work on me every day while I was there. They would work on me every day, and they would train me. And so the trainer would talk to the doctor would talk to the trainer. And I kept saying, I'm going to be better than when I left for China. And now here I am, you know, probably a year and a half later, and I am indeed better than when I left for China.
All right.
You know, these things, life, it's full of these like ups and downs and bumps in the road. But these mind-body practices continue to bring me a strength, a healing, and a power that nothing else compares to. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, because I've seen, wow, if it can heal me, you know, if it can help me overcome this like really extreme injury, like imagine what it can do for everybody else. And
Mm.
so, yeah. So now I can drive, I can walk, you know, I can work like a normal person. Um, yeah, there are certain things that I don't do. Like I try not to move furniture. I try not to lift heavy things. And I move continuously. It's not good for me to sit for very long.
Mm.
So I'm always like integrating movement, whether it's a walk in nature, whether it's some qigong or tai chi, you know, my back exercises from PT. I think that movement really is such a medicine.
Mm. So much information, so much good stuff. I really been looking forward to this for quite a while now. Where can people find you and find your class? I really want to make sure there'll be a link to that in the description and everything below, so that you guys can find out more about Jennifer and find out where her classes are located at online, and that type of thing. But just go ahead and tell us where that's all at.
Thank you so much, Jim. Well, yes, you know, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and people can always just reach out to me that way. It's really easy. You can also check out my website, which is taichiwithjennifer.com. I did. I was recently a contributor. Your listeners might be interested in this. It's called Overcoming Adversity in
Yes.
Entrepreneurship, and this is a recent publication from last week,
Okay.
actually.
Can you put that book up one more time? It transferred to me. I want them to see that a little bit more. Yeah, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
say so. There you go.
Okay, so this is Overcoming Adversity in Entrepreneurship. It's a collaborative book. There are many amazing entrepreneurs that have written a chapter into this book, including Akbar Sheikh, Gustan Sun, Blake Newbar, and Kevin Stevens, some big names in the
Mm.
entrepreneurial world. And we're all talking about overcoming adversity in our lives and what lessons we learned, so that we'll share them with you so that you can accelerate faster through those difficulties in your own life. So, you know, that book is a wonderful resource. And of course, you could just reach out to me directly or check out my website, any of those ways. And my website has my email at the top, so you can email me there too.
So people can really get a hold of you. That's good. That's good. It's good to be out there, and it's good to be available for people, because this is your mission. This is your passion. I can tell that. Um, and I know that what you're doing is something that will help people. I know that. And that's why I just, like I said, was really looking forward to this show, because I thought it would be a little different than most, because most of the time we talk about adversity, and we did, we talk about overcoming, and we did, but I think you're at a place in your life that a lot of the internal struggle isn't as bad as the external struggle, like the physical stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that that too comes from my mind body practice, is that I am relentless. It may not, I may look a little giggly and silly on the outside, but I have like this inner relentlessness about me that, you know, it just doesn't quit. And so that applies to my healing journey, that applies to my clients. Like I just won't stop. Like if something's not working, I'll find another answer. I'll find another answer. Like I'm a relentless healer. I'm on the mission for my people, you know? And the same in entrepreneurialism, because there are so many bumps in the road. I mean, it's like this constant like learning the technology. Oh, the technology changed. Oh, I need to learn this program, da 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 da. And we can get down. And so I think that having a mind body practice, having something that you can return to that's your own nourishing, practice, whatever that is for you, can really help give you the power, because you need an inner power to be an entrepreneur, and also to have good teachers and mentors. I mean, you listed off my teachers in the beginning. I have had amazing, amazing teachers, and that just helps you down the path faster.
It does. It does. And I've talked about that before with coaching and all the other stuff that we have available to us. And we don't have to sit here and wallow and be stuck. There's so many people out there that can help us. So many people that can help us. And that's why I've tried to get a collaboration of a bunch of entrepreneurs to get together in our group and that type of thing, and just lift each other up and help each other. And when we have something out, promote it. And, we want good people to be successful, because that helps others become successful, because they are going to help other people, because we just know that about them.
Yes.
And I think there's more people with heart, that care about other people. Then I think we can tip the balance in all this and change the world. I really believe that.
Yes. I love that. I love it.
So this episode was really, really good. I think honestly I could talk a lot more. I'll be honest. I think I could. Wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything left that you want to tell everyone before you go? And probably we'll have you back on, because I think there's so much more here.
I would love that, Jim, because beyond my personal story and in the beginning descriptions of what is Tai Chi and Qigong, and then we can get more into the practices themselves, honestly, which is where the real meat is.
I want to do that.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. It's really pretty simple and yet incredibly profound. And so that's all I have to say for today. But thank you so very much for having me. I really enjoyed our conversation today.
I loved it. I think that more people need to reach into their spiritual side and find now. I did a thing on Wind today where it's like you said the same thing. That's really weird. So it's like, you don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow's got enough worries and yesterday is already gone. So the only time you really have is right now. So you have to learn how to be in the present moment and right now. It's so many distractions in our life. There's so many things that, even I mean, just everything, like work, and I got to do this, I have to do that, I have a schedule, like children, I have spouse, I have this, I have that going on. So it's like I've got all these things to consider and think about. So to just take that time for yourself and to de-stress, I think is so key to our health.
It's super key. And like you said, it's like super key to our relationships too, because your loved ones, what they crave probably most of all is your attention and your presence, and you being present with them. For all of us, it's like, it's totally different if I'm with my boyfriend and I'm like on my phone and not paying attention, versus like if I'm paying attention and I'm present. And that's another thing these mind-body practices can give to us. Like when we take care of ourselves, then when we go out and we're with each person, we can be totally present with them. And they feel that. People feel that. Yeah.
You give off a vibe of calm. And no, seriously, I've heard this from other people too. And yeah, I sense it when we're talking. So it's like the person in front of you gets into a mode of, I wouldn't say meditation, but I would say a spiritual calm, because you are so calm that it affects others.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel that. I don't know. Have you ever had that somebody say that or?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Oh, right on then.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Oh.
It's like I'm pull like, that's the idea really, is that when we lift ourselves up, we pull up on the whole web,
Hmm.
and I think that, people, our energy field extends beyond where we hang our clothes, and how interesting that we can get this experience, this energy exchange,
Hmm.
even through the technology. You're on one side of Michigan, I'm on the other.
Yeah,
And
and
you
that's
can still
kind
feel
of
it.
close. I mean, I had a lady on that's from Estonia, and she was in, I believe she was in Ireland at the time when we did
Wow.
our interview. I have people coming up on from Australia and places like that, and it's weird because you can have a vibe or sync with somebody that's all the way around the world now because of the
Yeah.
technology that we have now.
Yes.
It's amazing what we can do. Um, we've developed a lot of horrible weapons and we've developed a lot of negative technology, but we've also developed some good technology that we can help each other to overcome stuff and get to another level when you talk about entrepreneurship, but just on a spiritual level to
Mm-hmm.
connect. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
This has been an amazing show. I have to end it at some point,
I
unfortunately.
understand.
And I don't want to, but I think we are going to have you back on. I really do want you back on to go deeper into
Wonderful.
everything. So we will do that. We'll get that scheduled. So, all right,
Wonderful.
everybody. Do you want to say goodbye to everybody?
All right. Thank you so much. And remember to practice.
Remember to practice. All right, everybody. Till next time, this is the Entrepreneurial Truth Podcast. I'm supposed to tell you to press the subscribe button and the little bell thing, whatever that does. And that's it. I appreciate you. Take care.